Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope we always do. Had a very testing morning this morning. Had a very testing this morning. A lot of things happened. I say it all the time, like the military. Sometimes we do things before 7 o'clock in the morning, then most of y'all do all day long. And this has been a test on it this morning. But as you can tell, we definitely broadcasting from a different location right now. We're broadcasting from a different location. I'm actually in the home front right now. So welcome to my home. Welcome to my home, y'all. Got a little corner. My wife is actually off today, and she's upstairs. She's still sleeping. So shh, don't wake her up. She's not a happy camper when you wake her up. Captain Leonard, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Good deal, good deal. Badger, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. May everyone be blessed for another day is gifted.
Absolutely, absolutely. Leonard, we're gonna start this thing off, man. This is what's today? Thursday, and we're gonna start this thing off with a 9 millimeter Uzi, if there's a such thing.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, sir. But Leonard, what is going on, Leonard? I saw yesterday these gentlemen that and I say gentlemen, but I need to hear your whole heart on this right here, Leonard. Take your gloves off. Let's talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
These gentlemen, man, that killed Aubrey,
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to say that it had nothing to do with race at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that they're fighting in the court trying to because they're trying to do it as a hate crime, but evidently everybody saw through it, and it's being charged as a hate crime right now. Now they're gonna go to court and be tried for a hate crime because they were saying that it is that and it was. They even had evidence that they were sending messages and racial messages amongst each other and to other people and things like that, talking about this against African American individuals. Leonard, I'm trying to figure out how in the world could they go before the court and say that it was not, and there's no evidence at all. Is Leonard frozen? Oh, there you go.
No,
Okay.
no, your sound went out.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How could they petition the court that it was not a hate crime?
White privilege.
Wow.
That's why you
Wow.
already confessed to it.
Mm-hmm.
You already confessed to it, and it's not a secret that you confessed to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Exactly.
out in the open that you confess to it
Mm-hmm.
under oath.
Mm-hmm.
It's white privilege.
Wow.
See, the deal was on the table. So when
Mm-hmm.
you when and it's not, and I'm not just talking about the criminals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the system side.
Mm-hmm.
The system
Mm. Mm.
obviously has a problem where you can confess to a crime
Mm-hmm.
and then withdraw your confession and pretend as if it never happened.
Wow.
So it is reset
Mm.
the clock to pretend that we all didn't see and didn't realize it was a hate crime and they didn't confess
Mm-hmm.
to it. Now let's start over and pretend like it never happened that way.
Mm.
That's white privilege.
So just take all the evidence off the table. It never
Mhm.
happened. It never existed. Y'all
Mhm.
lying eyes against y'all lying eyes that make y'all think that y'all saw what y'all saw.
Mhm. One white man convinced another white man that this is what they should do.
Wow. 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 Badger, what's on your heart, brother? And I know how you feel. What's on your heart, brother? How could they say that it was not a hate crime when, like Linda said, all the evidence from the past trial shows that it was? You confess that it was, but now you're gonna go back and say, no, it wasn't a hate crime. We didn't assault him and kill him because he was black. Badger, does that make any sense?
That probably explains why the judge threw it out.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, like I don't know what else to say other than that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
now if it would have continued and went on to be like an actual case, like it's one of those weird areas of someone sharing information to a human being that's going, you can sue someone because of slander, because that's what his whole fight was about, was the book that was put out, supposedly affected his life in a detrimental manner.
Okay.
So that's one of those things that got to be really weighed. However, if you read the book and whatnot, it really doesn't. It calls things what they are. So if he was guilty of what he was admitted for, then someone talk, because people can change. Just because you murdered a person did something wrong 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, one would hope that there is potential for change. But you don't know until then. So I just, because of the conversation I had last night, this is just, man, terminology and language barrier in this country, dude. That's where my brain's at right now.
Most people don't understand, Raheem, also with the law. What you see and what you hear is not as important as what the law is and what is written. You can look at something and say it ain't fair. That don't mean you right.
Yeah.
So you have to understand what happened. You have a system that allows discretion to certain people to make discretionary decisions about other people. In America, that discretion usually falls somewhere on racism. It provides for it. So I can sit there and say, you know what? Sure, let's do it that way.
All right,
or I can sit here and say, you know what? He's too rich to go to jail and be responsible for what he did because he's used to having his way. And we have to treat rich people different because they don't know any better.
Wow.
The statement you just made, can you explain it with more detail?
If I am a white judge and I am a racist white judge, my discretion will fall towards racism. And that's how I will make my decisions. I'm not going to say it's okay for you to discriminate, but the system is going to give that white man the discretion to do that.
At his leisure.
And see, when he made that other law to punish those people who sold crack, he put it in the law that rock cocaine gets more time than people that sell powder cocaine. It didn't say black people get more time for selling crack, because it couldn't say that. So it had to say this. That's what discretion does. It allows you the freedom to discriminate.
Wow. Let's go to the phone line. I got Brother Pete and Brother Curtis. Curtis was on the next one up. So Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning? Hey, doing good. Kurt, we're talking about the gentleman that killed, and I say gentleman, people say I shouldn't even call him gentleman, but I guess I'm polite. The gentleman that killed Aubrey. They're saying the whole trial went, but they're saying now that it was not a hate. They didn't kill him because he was black. It had nothing to do with his race. It wasn't a race crime at all. He could have been blue. We still would have did what we did to him. Curtis, all the evidence on the table, like Leonard said earlier, it came out in the first trial that it was based on race, and all this stuff. It did happen, like they're saying it happened, but now the ones that's in court on trial are saying it had nothing to do with race. it was not a race crime. Curtis, what are you hearing in this?
So, first off, it's foul. That's number one. Number two, sometimes ignorance. I swear, Will Rogers was right, man. When he said when ignorance is on the move, it has no back. That's not the most ignorant argument you can make. And I'll tell you why. So what you think is, we didn't commit a crime for race. We committed a crime for something else. So at the end of it, you still admit that you committed a crime, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what is it? Murder?
Yes.
Okay. Here's what I say to this whole thing, because I had heard something about it, but I was on the move at the time. What these ignorant Caucasian brothers are showing is that there is truth to the terminology or to the statement that in terms of black and white, law, especially criminal law, is based on two things: a presumption of ignorance, a presumption of guilty, and a presumption of innocence.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're proving right now, that several statisticians have shown, several studies have shown, many people in the media world has shown that white Caucasian males get a presumption that everybody else don't get.
Wow.
In terms of white males, they get a presumption of innocence right off the gate, whereas everybody else get a presumption of guilt. And they base their whole narrative around that presumption of innocence. But then when the shoe is on the other foot, and it's one of the minorities in this country, the whole narrative is the presumption of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're showing to me is that, like everybody been calling for and everybody been saying, is although justice is supposed to be equal, cannot forget that although justice is supposed to be equal, justice is blind.
Mm-hmm.
She wears blindfold, and it is never more prevalent than in this world we living in today.
Wow. Wow. Let me go to Pete. Pete, what's on your heart, brother? What did you get from this whole narrative? And good morning, Pete. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, DKM Radio. Audience. If defense presenting that this is not a hate crime, the standard norm in America too often in the vestiges of white supremacy, white male elitism, and the standard of lying, stealing, and murdering. These are the representatives of human debris. They are the definition of degenerate. If you ever seen human garbage walking around, you're looking at three of them when you look at them clowns. Okay? Truly, hell should be a stopping off point someplace work for them and everybody who thinks like them and feels like them. They have no place on planet Earth or no other planet for that matter.
Wow. Wow.
That's what I think.
Good deal. Good deal. Toya with a T. Good.
Hold on. You're talking about the people that come from an area where they run over citizens. Privilege, power, including prejudice. I mean, let's get the full narrative. They represent all that's wrong in America. All that's off back in America. They are the definition. They're the poster child for the vestiges of the foolishness, all right, that has been going on in this country for too long.
Wow. Wow. Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Toya, what do you say to this? What's on your heart, man? They're saying that it was not a hate crime. It had nothing to do with race at all. It was something totally different. Toya, how do you see this whole thing?
Yeah, that's just another slap in the face of them showing us that nothing has changed. Just because we allow you guys to not be working in field, you still slaves, and we're still going to be able to do what we want to do as white people. Okay, not only can we do that, but we also get away with infiltrating our own government, going in, smearing boo-boo on the walls, going through paperwork and things of that nature, and people in that office allow and help them get away. So, I mean, when you look at it, 1902, 1602, 2022, all the same. All the same. It's just the difference now is we ain't got no more fight in us. See, we fought when we got off the boat. We got sprayed with water and bitten and dog packed with dogs and all kind of. So now we just been rolled over. It don't make no difference. And it's still going on. And they're still saying, and they tell them, we don't see no injustice. You know the law is not to look at a white woman. That's why he dead. You know the law is that we get to do what we want to do, and we've been doing what we want to do, and we've been doing all this Constitution for y'all, not us, because we were just fine. It wasn't until we decided to free y'all to make y'all feel like y'all got some rights, but y'all still ain't got no rights, and I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. So again, here we go with the Ike and Tina syndrome. We still ain't learned from American Ike. Here you go, do it again in our face. Beating and abusing us, but telling us that we're free. Oh yeah, you can leave anytime. You can go anytime you want to. But you still want to reap all the benefits of my singing and my dancing and my talent, and then say that I have no reason to leave you when you're smacking me in my face with the abuse. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it's the same rhetoric. I'm most clean. Because in situations like this, I have to take care of my own justice and go with whatever follows. Because I'm not going to be down for their blind justice that we all know exists, because they feel they get the need to infiltrate and impose their will and their constitution on my life because it's black. You understand what I'm saying? And again, that's just what they showed us. So it is what it is. I govern my own self. As long as I follow the rules to the best of my ability, everything else is off the table.
Rico, we're talking about this morning, and as y'all can definitely see, I'm broadcasting from home this morning. I'm not at the studio, so y'all bear with me if the sound quality is not as good as it normally is. It's because of the fact I'm home. But Rico, we're talking about the gentleman that killed Aubrey. They're saying that now they're in court. We know how the first trial played out. All the evidence came out to say that it was a hate crime. Now they're being tried for a hate crime, and they're saying, Rico, it had nothing to do with hate. It had nothing to do with racism. He could have been blue or purple or orange or whatever it is, and we would have done the same thing. It had nothing. We were trying to protect property. He was in the wrong place, or whatever they're saying. Rico, how could they really say that it wasn't a hate crime? And good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Welcome to a beautiful new day, everybody.
Good.
How can they say it? They can just open up their mouth and let the words come out. But the thing is, their character and their reputation goes a long way. See, they scared right now. They in the feds. They ready to get that federal crime, that hate crime. And see, yesterday the FBI released a lot of text messages.
Yes,
that was used between McMichael and also the one that recorded the video that claimed he wasn't a part of it and he wasn't racist. Rowdy Roddy.
Yeah.
Rowdy Roddy been saying some racist things too. A year before, days before. This is their nature. This is what they come from. This is what they believe, that you should call the Cracker Barrel the nigger bucket. Or that just because they see a video where a black man pranks a white man, he ought to kill that F and N word.
Mm-hmm.
That N word ain't have he had the audacity to play a prank on a good old white person.
Mm-hmm.
But man, we've been seeing this forever. We've been seeing white people play pranks and jokes and be nasty and low down and kill people for driving drunk and being young and getting off of affluenza. We've seen this. Right now, we're listening to them say, well, we don't want critical race theory because it's changing history. Well, y'all already did that.
Mm-hmm.
What about when y'all change history? Maybe critical race theory is correcting the history that y'all changed because y'all wanted to get rid of Reconstruction. Yeah, and that started here in Alabama with this woman last name Owen. So, you know, it's huge, man. That shows the double standard that America is built on. It shows you really that America stands on white supremacy first. Even when we want to deny it, the proof is in the pudding. In so many different aspects, you can see where there's a double standard for the same type of behavior between white people and black people. But then when it comes to this white person, oh, give them the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll give him a chance. He might not have all the requirements and the qualifications for this job, but I know him and he's a smart young man. Actually, he's my neighbor. He grew up with my son and went to the same school. He just made a few bad decisions. As a matter of fact, don't charge him for that little weed you just pulled him over with. Throw it out. You don't want to mess up his record. You know, I sent you a TikTok a long time ago where the girl said she got pulled over. She had at least 7 violations that she knew if she was black, that first violation would have been enough for her to get in trouble.
And she said that.
And she recorded it.
Yeah,
you can hear the man as she telling him, yeah, I got a little drugs. She had more than weed. Oh, I don't have my license. They're suspended. As she's telling them this, he said, well, we'll be all right. We don't want to get you in trouble for no little small thing like that. But then you have another soldier of color, soldier in uniform. Get out the car. Get out the car. Wait a minute, sir. Don't move. So, you know, we have people that want to say that doesn't exist, but it exists, and it exists in a major way. It hasn't gone anywhere, it has evolved. And so, you know, you have those of color that they feel better because now we walk around in shoes every day. We're civilized. We're not walking around barefoot. We got ACs and Bentleys and Rolls Royces. You know what I'm saying? And we got an opportunity to be great and make all the money. Look at all the rappers and the athletes. Look at all the money they making. Even though they sending out a whole lot of content full of garbage. Look at them, y'all. Look at those jesters and entertainers being successful. They got the finer things now. Look at the red bottom shoes they wearing. We ain't walking barefoot no more.
Good deal. Let me go
no more. So you know that's the mindset, and that's the reason why it exists, because we have been distracted into this culture.
Let me do this. Let me go to Tiffany Real. Then we're gonna go to Charles, and I want to hear y'all take on this. Tiffany, and good morning. How you doing?
Got me up early. Hey, what's up?
Hey, doing good. What is your take on this whole situation? They're saying that it wasn't a race crime and it had nothing to do with race at all.
I wanted to talk about the men's health.
I see you.
I wanted to talk about the men's health because this court case makes no sense. You know, it makes no sense, and their job as a defense attorneys is to defend the criminal. But everybody, and then they're in jail. They got to go back to the people that they're in jail with and stuff like that. They in there for life. You're going to be dealing with people, black people, Latinos, and other people. They got to see them people. So when they come, they're going to fight for I don't even want to say fight. They just got to go through the motions. Their attorney's not going to come and say they were racist. Who does that? Their job is to defend them. So, but why we talk about it, to me, it's asinine because we know they're racist. We know what the game is. And when we say America, when they say America, they're not talking about us. They're talking about white people. So I don't even know why we act like we're surprised when certain things happen when this system was not designed for us. So therefore, until the whole system changes from the root to the tutor, we always gonna go through these things. And like Rico said, because we're free, we think we're not slaves. We're still slaves. And as far as the medical thing that you said, preventive maintenance, what the heck is that? If you out there eating Popeye's chicken 5-6 times a week, you're not exercising, you drinking beer all the time, you got a beer belly and stuff like that, you know you probably got something wrong with you. You smoke cigarettes and stuff. What you need to go to the doctors for, to confirm that you already living a messed up, foul life? And then with all the medical apartheid that went on in this country, doggone gynecologists, they use Black women, cut them open with no anesthesia and all that other stuff, syphilis, the Tuskegee experiment and stuff like that. I don't trust these people to save my doggone life. The fact of the matter is, we're all born and we're all gonna die. Why we go to the doctors to guarantee that we're still gonna live a long time, a little bit longer, and then as soon as we leave, we get killed by a car or something like that. There's no guarantees. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor, but live your life, because at the end of the day, you cannot control what happens. I'll give one example and then I'll stop. My uncle, he went to the doctors and they told him he had a respiratory infection and gave him antibiotics. This went on for a whole year. And then finally they said, oh, you got lung cancer and your tumor is the size of a grapefruit. A year later now, once he found out he had cancer, within months he was gone. A doctor used to walk around with a little medical bag, blah, 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 take some castor oil, do this, whatever, natural remedies, and you go on about your business, and people live to be 100 years old. Now you take medications for this, but it can cause you to do this and all this other stuff. I am so thankful that I'm not on any medications. If you want to have preventive medicine, do what you need to do to stay alive. But the air's poison, the water's poison, the food's poison, everything's poison. So no matter what you do, you still gonna die.
I'm going to Mars, and I'm trying to figure. I like how Tiffany Real just did that. She just took our conversation yesterday and just implemented it right into this conversation we had today. Lord Jesus, she just tied them together. Boy, leave it to a woman.
Pay attention. That's because I pay attention.
Look, leave it to a woman. Charles, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
What's up, Chief?
Charles, I want to know your take on this whole situation, man. The gentleman that killed, and people say I shouldn't call him gentleman, but I'm being polite. The gentleman that killed Aubrey, they're saying that it was not a hate crime. Had nothing to do with race. They said he could have been purple, orange, or green, and they would have done the same thing. Charles, what do you say to that?
Who's saying that?
Everybody that's looking at this, Charles, saying that well, the ones that's actually in trial is saying, maybe I missed your question, or saying that it wasn't a hate crime. Listen to me, Charles. The ones that's actually being that's on trial right now, Roddy and all those guys are saying that it was not a hate crime.
Don't they supposed to say that?
I'm asking you that's fine. But what I'm asking you is, what is your take? What is your take on that, though?
To me, most all crimes are hate crimes. What's a hate crime? All crimes are hate. So I don't know nobody who go out and kill somebody who love them. I don't get it. It's a crime. They should be in jail. They should be in jail forever. Now you're just wasting money. They should be in jail forever. Point blank from the first trial. What's the other trial about? They're wasting money. They're blowing horns. They're tricking people to think a certain way. Put them under the jail. We don't need to hear about them no more. Simple as that. Why are we going through something else about it when they've already been found guilty and they shouldn't come out of jail anymore? Why are we still talking about it? I don't get it.
But my thing is, and regardless of how I feel about them and their what they did and where they stand, I think everybody should have due process. Everybody should be able to go through the court and argue that. You can't say that, because Charles, if it was you would want somebody to listen. You would want somebody, Charles. You trying to hold on. If it was you would want somebody to listen to your case and give you an opportunity. If there's a chance for you to be free, you would want that opportunity.
Bro, didn't they already lose their case?
This is different. This is different.
No,
this is on the hate. This is on the federal. This is on the federal level. Charles, you listen to what you want to listen to, but you ain't listening to nothing I'm saying to you.
I am, but you're not listening to me. I'm asking you a question. Didn't they already lose the case?
That's one case. We're not talking about that case.
Can I finish?
That case is done. That case is done.
Okay, they lost their case. Are they getting out? Are they getting out of prison?
See, Charles, you got your mind stuck in one place. Let me do this. Let me do it because you're trying to argue something that's not an argument at all. You're trying to argue something that's not an argument. Charles, you're trying to argue something that's not an argument, brother. It has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Yes, they're in jail. Yes, they're in jail. Yes, they're in prison. Yes, they're gonna be in for the rest of their life. But that has nothing to do with. Hold on, no. You wait. It has nothing. But it has not. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. You're trying to argue. What I'm asking you. You want you to ask me? Yes, all that's true. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking to you about.
Let me finish.
What point you making? What point you making? And don't yell at me, brother. What point you making?
You're not letting me. Every time I try to, you cut me off.
Go ahead. What's your point?
I'm saying they're in prison already. And they're not getting out.
Okay.
Why are we wasting more money in court? That's my question.
Because there's something called due process, Charles. You never heard of due process? You never heard of due process. Hold on, Charles. Hold on. You never heard of due process. He did want to due process for one thing, brother. Charles, I don't know where you at right now, brother. But hold on. Let me go. Hold on. You stay where you at. Let's go to Pete. Brother, does it not, Charles? Look, I didn't set up the system. Did you set it up?
But you're making. I'm not talking about.
Okay. Now you're not answering my question. Now you're not answering my question.
What is he trying to say? I don't even know.
They've been through due process.
Nothing.
Already.
He's trying.
What?
He's basically what he's trying to say, Mary. Hold on, Charles. Basically, what he's trying to say is, listen, Mary, listen, Mary, listen. Basically, what he's trying to say is because of the fact they've been through process, they already locked up. Why are we wasting more time putting them through court and all this other stuff? But and my point is right here. There's two different situations going on here. Yes, they're in jail. Yes, they're not getting out. That's on the state level, but there's a hate crime on the table right now. That's on the federal level that it has to be tried. It has to be tried.
I get it.
But I'm trying to see what he was saying because he's going to be the one to say it the best.
Okay.
I understand what you heard and how you took it, and that's fine. But what is he trying to say? I want him to say what he is trying to say so I can see if I agree or not. But I cannot hear him.
Okay, go ahead, Charles.
I get what you're saying.
You're looking at my daughter, bro.
What I'm saying is that the hate crime thing to me is a waste of money to go through it because they're already not getting out. So are we going to put them under the jail? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're in for life, can you put them in like we're gonna put them in for another life because when they die, they're gonna come back and go back to prison. No, they're never getting out. You're wasting money, and what you're doing now is you're riling people up to think a certain way, but you're wasting money because they're never getting out. I understand what you're saying. It's a federal crime because you don't even when you look at you kill 3 people but you kill 3 black people, it doesn't matter. You kill 3 people. You get what I'm saying? When you look at certain thing of this federal hate crime thing, because they're going to use it a lot for homosexuality and people who do stuff against the LGBT community, they're going to make this is what it's all about, honestly. But we don't understand it because we keep thinking about color of our skin and stuff. But I understand it's a problem in America about the law and stuff. I've also seen black guys walk away from murder without a good lawyer. So you got to understand, I've seen this myself. I've seen this. And I know they murdered the people.
Okay.
And they won.
3 minutes, Charles. 3 minutes, brother.
So, and they didn't get a hate crime. They killed a black person.
Okay. So hold right there. Charles, how long you'll spin this wheel, brother? Hold on for a minute. I got to go to somebody else.
You spinning the wheel? I'm trying.
Okay, Charles. Like I say, again, first and foremost, I'm not gonna let you overtalk, but that's not gonna happen. But my thing is this right here. I got several people on here. This is not the Charles Patrick show. So you got to understand that there's other people that you have to be respectful for everybody that's here. So I can't let you go 5 or 10 minutes on some rant that you have. I can't let you do that. Mary, what's on your heart?
I don't even know how to say anything.
Okay. Okay. Cassandra, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning.
we're talking about we stirred it up already, Cassandra. It's already getting stirred up. This is a good one. It's getting gooder and gooder. And then what the old folks say, gooder and gooder. But my thing is this right here. We're talking about the gentleman that killed Aubrey. They're saying it wasn't a hate crime. They've been through the court situation, and to Charles' point, they're never getting out. They're never getting out, and that's a point that he made. So I can agree with that. But at the same time, there's still a federal case, the hate crime. They're saying that it was not a hate crime at all. Cassandra, how in the world could they really make the argument that it wasn't a hate crime? They're saying if he was blue, they would have done what they did. What do you say to that? I saw you, Tiffany, coming to you next.
We know that's a lie. And we know that there's no way if a white boy was running through their neighborhood, jogging or whatever, would they have taken the step to be ignorant enough to think that they could possibly not have been based on color. You living in a bubble. You're living in a bubble, bottom line. Bottom line. I know that my nephew is dead and has all these lawsuits and stuff going on and laws being changed because of what happened to him in South Carolina last year. And if he had been white, it would not have happened like that. And when the nurse said, take the big one because we need him out. Why? Because he's a big black kid, 6'4", and they were intimidated by him. It was strictly about his size and color.
Wow.
And that's why they settling lawsuits left and right for my family, well, my sister, because they knew that it was racially motivated.
Wow.
So I don't play when it comes to race. No, they did it because he was a black kid running through a white neighborhood, and they didn't know him, and they felt like they had the right to do vigilante justice.
Wow. Tiffany?
I know you was about to say my name again. I know. That's why I took my time unmuting, because I knew you was going to say it. But what Charles said is correct. And we get so caught up we get distracted. But that's always us as Black people. We always get distracted. We're getting distracted by the hate crime itself against the Black people. But like he said, it's about the LGBTQ. It's not about us. And Black people are always used for others to get what they need, the protection they need. Most of these laws for hate and all that other stuff is not for us. It's for everybody else. And then even on the federal side where in the elections, Kamala, she said they can't do nothing specifically for Black people. Yet and still, when the quote unquote, all this stuff is propaganda, because if you notice the people that beat up the Asians, they all look the same. They all got on necklaces from the 80s and all kinds of stuff, hoodies and stuff like that. All of this is propaganda. And we as people, we sit around arguing about the same things when we don't understand. It ain't never going to be about us. Everybody else is going to be taken care of before us. And we're being used so that the LGBTQ can get the protections they need. Because let me tell you something, even though people may not agree, them people, just like the Jews, the Asians, and all that other stuff, they have that money and they stick together. They might not like each other and stuff, but the white ones, they stick together for the most part, because there's racism within the LGBTQ community as well. And I know this because I'm in radio and I interview people, but everything is about white supremacy. And that's all I got to say on that.
Okay. Pete, what's on your heart, brother?
It may seem like a waste, but the federal protections are in place as a safety net and a deterrent, right? Prejudice and bias. So we're going to take just, if you indulge me just for a second for clarity, and this is a great example. The state of Georgia, the judiciary in the state of Georgia, from the governor through the attorney general, the Supreme Court, the appellate system, and the circuits. Not every judge, but every circuit operates on its own standards, its own rules, It is a process, procedural due process, law, and the spirit of law violations that are unconscionable and reprehensible. The federal charges are a safety net. I might be off slightly, but you can do 30 years in Georgia on a life sentence and come up on parole. So the fact that we gave you a life sentence doesn't always mean that you have to do life in prison. You do 30 years and then you start going before a parole board. Well, the federal charges and conviction and sentencing is a safety net to say, no, you're going to still stay in jail. You're going to still serve time in prison. There is no getting out for you. See? And that's why they had to come up with those set of rules and regulations and process and procedures and a safety net, because individuals not getting convicted for egregious crimes, obvious infractions, violations of humanity in law, and being let loose soon. You have one in Chicago where Laquan McDonald was shot 16 times by an officer walking away from him on film, and they did nothing but give the man 6 years. He's being released after 3. They paid the family, but his mother didn't care nothing about him. His family didn't care nothing about him. He was a child on his own. So they paid him. They was happy. Nobody could stand up. They needed a federal charges on him. He wouldn't be getting out right now. That's the reason why they have that in place, and it's necessary. I can agree that it's always a different agenda, and the LGBT definitely is more important than those that look like you and me. I can align with that, absolutely. But let's be clear. Let's be clear that federal is there as a infractions where they can get out, be let loose. You had the DA, a white female, in the Aubrey case with the McMichaels, who tried to shield him and protect him.
Yes.
You had a white male DA in the surrounding county who wrote a letter and tried to exonerate. You have the Attorney General, Chris Cox, white male. You have the Governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, white male. You have Vic Reynolds, the head of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, white male. Are you not seeing? 2 months and 12 days. It had taken them that long, 2 months and 12 days, to arrest these individuals. But what you didn't know, they did know. This is why you have to have a safety net in place to ensure that justice, or the semblance of justice. And let's be clear real quick. There ain't no justice after injustice happens. It's an adjustment. There's no justice. Once the injury is incurred, there can be no justice. So we need to get straight on our definition. Once you get injured, hurt, harm, done wrong, you suffer a loss, you ain't gonna never get justice because you already suffered the injury. And they can never take that back. The memory, the occasion of it, the experience of it, the knowledge of it can never be removed. So you're not getting justice. You're getting an adjustment. It was the infringement, the infraction, the offense that happened against you.
Rico?
Yeah, man. Pete knocked it out the park, man. And I like what Tiffany said. And I see where Charles was coming from. And to me, if you listen to what Tiffany said, it really goes to show you really how out of order we are, because we're still trying to participate and get along in this same society, knowing that these things exist. We still want to be a part of this community that's built for white supremacy. We want to be the richest. We want to be on the Forbes list. We want to be CEO of the company, the entire system. We want to be a part of it. We forget about Reconstruction. See, Reconstruction would have benefited us. But this system came back in play, and all we did was really contribute to its success. That's why I say white supremacy only succeeds because black people help it succeed. But now at the same time, it's 2022. We should know by now that there are corrupt governments in the states. I went to a trial a month and a half, 2 months ago, where I saw the state do the worst prosecution in the history of prosecutions, that pretty much allowed the defendant to be able to get off scot-free. I mean, they did a terrible case. And then Mr. Pete just brought up a second ago the DA in the Ahmaud Arbery case. On the rug, don't arrest them. You remember I said that about that benefit of doubt earlier? Yep. They some good old boys.
Mm-hmm.
He can continue being a cop even though he isn't certified and he shouldn't even be licensed to be in here, but we're going to allow him to keep on going uncertified to be a cop. So, you know, that thing was put in place to prevent an Emmett Till, a tainted jury, a tainted prosecution, a tainted judge, a tainted state government that has laws in place that allows white privilege and white supremacy to exist unpunished. The feds had to come in and say, well, you know what, we'll try to. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody's right about the LGBTQ and the hate crime thing. It does benefit them more, because to be honest with you, it should have existed before Matthew Shepard. But it didn't come along till Matthew Shepard. So that lets you know it was more towards gay people. But what would they, when you tell people, well, look, man, we need to make racism and white supremacy a crime punishable by incarceration or time penalties. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Germany did it. Germany made it illegal to be racist. You can't practice that over there. If it's even seen that you practice it in Russia, if they see that you practice racism on the workplace, you hire somebody because of their skin color and then don't hire them because they're black, you're in trouble. You're getting penalized. You're getting prosecuted. So the thing is that us civilized black people, we make these same arguments about why they being prosecuted twice and this and that. Well, they've been tried twice because of due process that was established because of the fact that other people were not given fair trial. So you have to put that other spot in place so we don't continue having Emmett Tills.
Exactly. Toya with a T, what's on your heart? Leonard, come to you next.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I feel like if it was Charles and he was driving down the street and because they thought that he was someone else, would we want that process to the fullest extent of the law? And that's what we're doing for Ahmaud Arbery. We're talking about the fullest extent of the law. That's what they do to us. They give us the whole maximum. They go up under rugs and find stuff to slap us with, add extra stuff on. So we're simply just returning a favor for what they have done to us in return. So yeah, get alien law too. Get the hell law, get law, whatever court law we got to put them up under too, so we can make triple sure. We got to do something, but it's like all of us are saying, this is something that's been going on for a while. And the only justice it seems like we can get is this fake phony justice that they keep playing us in our faces. When again, what is the real solution? Nothing's changed since Emmett Till all the way up to Ahmaud Arbery. Okay, now it's not federal, but they're gonna have a two-part system where the judge, the prosecutioner, and the people in the jury have the same mindset because this is their system. And what are we going to do? The only thing we can do is get out of the system. I mean, I don't understand, like, what the back and forth is about, because if we're going to be in the system, that means we got to use the system against them the same way they used to us. And that's why we're going to at it on a federal level. And then unless we're going to get away from the system, we still need to make sure that whatever system we're using is going to be stronger, harder, and come even worse than whatever they got to bring against us. But at this point in time, just think of Ahmaud Arbery as if it was yourself. And you were in a situation to where they wrongfully murdered you. And what would you want us to do here? And if you are cool with saying if that happened to me or my son, y'all don't have to fight. I'm cool at just the state level, then we'll know to do that on that case. But for those that are not unspoken, we're going for the highest extent of the law, the same way they do for us.
Exactly. Leonard? Absolutely.
Right. Give me 1 second, Lynn. I also want the family to know and the listening audience to know. Don't be deceived. We're talking 2 months and 12 days before an arrest was made with full knowledge. It happened and they leaked it to CNN, and that's how the story came out. It was already known in the state of Georgia and the officials in Georgia that had happened. So let's be clear. And the only reason they were arrested at the time they were arrested is because elements in the state of Georgia and outside of the state of Georgia let the governor know that you have until Friday morning to place him under arrest, or a contingency of the community will go down there and apprehend them themselves. Period. It was real, and they knew it was real. It was verified. That's why they hightailed it down there and went and arrested. If you listen, go and review Vic Reynolds' press conference outside the TBI building. He say the phone calls, the emails, the letters, none of this contributed to our decision. You a lie, it did contribute to you. And lying. Keeping consistent with your behavior. Lying. Because the people in the community had to force their hand to even go and apprehend these on film, known, proven, factual murderers. That's right.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Not too much, just listening. Like everybody had different opinions, but the fact of the matter is exactly what Pete mentioned. That's why we do the hate crime thing. I am very unbiased. So my feelings ain't in the way of what needs to be done. It's clear why the federal law needs to be done. Because states have no unction whatsoever to do what the federal government wishes they would do. It has to be written. It has to be written. And they use their discretion when applying it. That's the issue. However, if it wasn't written at all, it would never be an issue. Do you understand the difference? So when a state decides to let killers go, what do you think? The federal government shouldn't do anything? What do you think insisted that slavery stop in the South? The federal government. It's a federal thing. Your protections usually come from the federal government. States aren't interested in your voting rights. They never were.
Yeah.
They weren't. That's why the federal government had to get involved. The federal and the state governments don't always work together that way. And that's what some people fail to believe. Every state don't even have hate laws.
Yeah.
So one, to throw up my hands and run away from it and do nothing still leaves all your brothers and sisters behind. So you have to do something. You can't sit back and do nothing. Like one, I can tell you, for instance, I understand what Charles was talking about. I completely understand. But I wouldn't pursue what his intentions would be. Because then it becomes something involved with party affiliation. See, because they're against any white man going to jail for any other extraordinary amount of time for killing a black man. That's why you have to give them discretion so they can still continue to be racist. See, nobody should be getting this discretion. That's what you don't understand. So when you come to me and you a 15-year-old black boy and you don't kill somebody, guess what? It don't matter what color he was because everybody getting life with no parole. You understand? But see, you gonna go in there when your brother or your cousin or somebody do something with your feelings and think that your brother or your cousin deserve less time. That's what you're gonna do because you're a human being. So we have to eliminate the ability to discriminate. That's the issue. There was nothing wrong with mandatory sentencing. The problem was racism in mandatory sentencing. Racism is always the elephant in the room. You can't talk your way out of it. You can't reason your way and feel your way of it. If it's so unjust, the best thing you can do is not be involved. But when you just attack for being who you are, that's the problem. So anybody that sit here and is going to argue the point of doing nothing, you're on the other side. Go away from me. Anybody that's going to argue the fact that we just going to be wasting money or whatever, blah, blah, get over there because you're on the other side.
Right.
See, you can't come up with arguments not to address racism. Because if you don't address it, you'll never get rid of it. If you keep just saying that's just how they gonna be and we ain't gonna never get this or never, you won't get it. You won't get it. This is what I'm saying. And so people who get frustrated, I understand the frustration. but you at some point you got to do some constructive work about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the constructive work is to reinforce racism will not be tolerated. And you need to move, like my brother Pete say, it would have never made it.
Mm-hmm.
It would have never made it because they was going to do what they want. That's how they give these police officers 2 and 3 years or whatever, and then let them right back out. And they go right back to doing what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the difference in state law and federal law.
So Leonard, let me do this right here, and we got a couple other people on the phone. I want to get to them as well. I got to make my circle back around because I know everybody got some stuff they want to say. How do you feel about that argument? They already locked up; they'll never get out. And I know what you just said, but I'm just for the clarity. I'm with you, but for the clarity of the listeners, they'll never get out. They got life anyway. So why are we even going to court? Why are we even doing a federal thing? Why? It's a waste of time. Talk to me about that.
I believe in eliminating their possibilities. I don't want them to live.
Wow.
Had it been my law, you've been hung out in front of the courthouse.
Wow. Okay, with that being said,
this is how I am against racism. Now you I can't believe that happened. But guess what?
Hold on, Leonard.
Look at how many of us it happened to.
Leonard, hold on, brother. You about to take that. You about to take that turn and push the gas real hard,
what's
brother.
The difference? Execution is execution.
Mm-hmm.
Execution is execution. Like, say for instance, racism with the FedEx guy. Now, hitting the white folks running, shooting me while I'm working, chasing me. But you take me off the job and take my money.
Hold on right there, Leonard. Stay right there. Hold on. Stay right there, Leonard. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're having a very heated discussion. Miri, I haven't forgot, Miri, that you're there, but I know a certain situation you can't speak on. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Good morning.
Hey, man.
Tucson?
I'm like Mary. I got certain things that I can't speak of.
Mm-hmm.
For real. I mean, seriously. Yeah. Now, I may open my mouth about it, but there are certain things that I should speak on.
Okay.
But no matter what, there are some things that we're talking about is truth. And, my biggest problem, here's my biggest problem with us as people.
Mm-hmm.
The it ain't me mentality.
Wow.
It's really us, but then some of us get that we feel like it ain't me, so they don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
It continues on, and then what some do is they join in on the bandwagon with the oppressors and the ones that manipulate the laws to fit them. And they just hide in the group and take their part and go along to get along. And that's it. That's just basically. And matter of fact, they would get to the point that they get education. They start being some of the lawyers and judges and prosecutors and the defense attorneys, and they get along with the game and the system that we don't belong.
Wow. Badger, you had something on your heart, Badger?
Yeah. It's crazy because this conversation actually happened in a call I was in last night. So one of the things that I've been trying to get a grasp on is this language barrier, or at least it's that's what I'm calling it. What is the separation of white supremacy terminology, white power terminology, racism, and then discrimination?
Say those three one more time.
Or
Well, say those again. Repeat it.
White supremacy, white power, racism, discrimination.
Wow, there's a lot of layers there. Cassandra, you want to tackle that?
No, I don't, because as far as I'm concerned, they all one in one ball of wax. I may eliminate discrimination, maybe, but when you do anything against a people or feel like you are superior to a group of people because of their skin color, their gender, whatever, I don't care. It is all filthy, and it is all inhumane. And you can put any name on it you want. As far as I'm concerned, you're talking about the same group of people. White supremacists, racists, they all go in the same bundle as far as I'm concerned. And I want to say this really quickly. I was with Ahmaud Arbery and Felonious, Ahmaud Arbery's father and Felonious Floyd. They came to South Carolina for my nephew's protest a few weeks ago. And when you hear these grown men and watch them crying because of the injustices, no, if it's not your family, I guess it don't mean but it's my family, and it means everything to me. That everybody that had anything to do with my nephew's death be prosecuted to the fullest. The money don't mean crap to us. It's about justice and adjustment. I use peak words because I even like that. But you could never bring my nephew back. All that phone y'all talking, I don't even want to hear it this morning.
Exactly. Wow. Rico?
Yeah, man, I agree, man. I mean, I'm gonna use these references because when you ask that question, what's the purpose of going to two different courts and trying them twice? It's to make sure you get complete justice for the victim. It ain't about the defendant no more. It's about the victim making sure they get justice, and their families making sure that they get penalized for the wrong that they did. So now, Bullet Bob Chambliss, Mr. Birmingham, he bombed the 16th Street Baptist Church. Lived 50 odd years after that, just bragging and telling his family members, yeah, I did it. I killed the nigger girls. Yeah, he did it. He got to live his life. But Morris Deese came back with the feds. Said, nah, you been running around here bragging like them boys that killed Emmett Till. You done ran around here bragging right after you killed these little black girls. These small, innocent 4 children. You done ran around here bragging all these years. You think you done got away with it? Well, everybody in the United States ain't with that old country, Alabama backwater mess that y'all been doing for the last few centuries. Y'all been getting away with subverting the law, creating penal codes and convict leasing. You done found all these ways to keep on implementing white supremacy and racism. You done found a way to keep going around the government, and then you want to say it's about states' rights. So now if states' rights existed the way it did, the 4 little girls, they would have never got justice, but they finally got justice. Emmett Till never got justice. Ahmaud Arbery was on the pace of not getting justice. This men lived their regular lives for 2 months after that. With blood on their hands. Now, it's proven that in their heart, it had to be race-based. Because in that everyday normal carrying on, before that happened, everything had a race base to it. Nigga bucket. Killing the F and N word. So finally they killed one. Oh no, it ain't about him being black. We just thought he was suspicious and he was a criminal. What you thought? He ain't steal nothing. He ain't did nothing wrong. So evidently it's something else. It's another reason why you chose to go to this extreme and do this man like this, and then to feel like you had the privilege or the entitlement to be the oppressor or the enforcer. Why did they even feel that way? Well, the past text messages proved the reason why they felt they were better. The reason why they felt like they could go to that extreme to apprehend this man that they suspected of doing all this wrong, but all he was doing was running. So yes, if I was a victim or my family member was a victim, I would want every piece of prosecution I could get them. I'd take them to civil court afterwards. Throw the book at them. But you would never see me questioning why. Now, maybe it is a distraction. Maybe it is propaganda. But if propaganda is going to get them more time, maybe even kill them, we'll bring it on. I'll drink all the propaganda they got to give. I'm going to repeat it. Whatever it takes to make sure that they don't ever have another chance. And also that it sort of deters the next person that feels like they want to do the same thing to another black person. And if it doesn't deter them, then they could get the same business. I'm just glad it's there available for them to get that due process.
Absolutely. Tiffany?
I'm kind of scared to speak because I know people are going to get upset, but I'm going to say it anyway. They use the Bible to justify slavery. And whenever these things come about, I always think, who controls the narrative? And it reminds me of a movie called Life, starring Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. And they were accused of killing a police officer, right? Or killing the guy. And at the end, the police officer that really killed him said, at least we got 40 years of free labor. So when we say that these people finally got justice, did they really get justice, or do they control this narrative to make you think that they have justice? Because there's no way in hell somebody can go 40 years bragging about something and nobody knows that he didn't do it. Everybody knows he did it. That's just like that chick who lied and said that Emmett Till whistled at her or whatever. Years, 1,000 years later, she says that it didn't really happen. They know it really didn't happen. Everybody, they knew it didn't happen back then. All a white woman had to say is a black person did XYZ, and they knew he was going to get lynched. That was the way of the land.
Hey, Tiffany, they also admitted in a magazine interview right after the court case found them innocent. They came back and did a magazine interview, and both of them admitted that they did.
Right. And then after when they were found not guilty, they was in there kissing their women and doing all that other stuff. Let me tell you something. The narrative is controlled. If you don't see these things going on, then they lose the power. It's all about mind control. And when I say that we're everybody's a slave. It's not just black people. We're all slaves because we're letting 1% of a worldwide conglomerate control the minds of all of us. So when you say you're not a slave, that really makes you a slave because you don't even understand the fact that you are a slave. And just like Harriet Tubman said, she freed 1,000 people. She could have freed a lot more if they would have knew they were slaves. They didn't even know. There's people in 2022 in some places that still have a slave mentality. They don't know that they're free. If you got sundown towns in 2022, you still a slave if you know you can't go certain places. And then let's talk about justice and stuff like that and the narratives that they create. Kendrick Johnson in Valdosta, Georgia, they just decided that his death was an accident and all that other stuff. The people that killed him, the father is in the doggone FBI. They know exactly who killed that young man. They know exactly who did it. They always going to protect their own. And with us, we still trying to fit in this system. Like I keep saying, that's not for us. And we don't, like somebody said about when it's your person, you care and stuff like that. If somebody kills me tomorrow and I have to go through the same thing that Emmett Till went through, that Trayvon Martin went through and stuff like that, I don't give a hoot don't pollute. Because at some point, we have to stop being afraid to die and fight this system and change the system. If not, come together. We all put in, we get some land, we build our own houses, we do what we got to do. 19 families came together 130 miles from Atlanta to buy their own property so they can build their own city. Because unless you're willing to really change the system, and you got to change it from the ground level up, because it ain't nothing but a pyramid. Your own president will tell you on certain things. You got to go to the governors, whatever the governors say, they're not going to touch it. So until we're really ready to get dirty like our ancestors did, get in the trenches, and if you got to die for it, you got to die for it. That's the only time we're going to change something.
Good deal. Good deal. Charles?
I ditto a lot what she just said. I'm going to go back real quick because a lot was said. Leonard, what you were saying about how I feel about the party, and what you were trying to say about white men going to prison and stuff like that, has nothing to do with it, because what I really think is that when you look at the whole of how blacks look at things, we look at the small things instead of the big things that's really affecting us. Now, I'm going to go off subject a little bit. I know blacks are being killed more by doctors than they are by police, at least about 10 times more. All right, I'm gonna let y'all know that. Now, do you know how hard it is to prosecute a doctor? I work with them all the time. Do you know? And y'all, and if the media would focus on that, more blacks will be saved, for sure. So, and it's more white doctors around than black doctors. So it's not a white or black thing, or how I feel about whites going to jail. If you're wrong, you go to jail. Matter of fact, I feel the same way you do about the people at Aubrey. If you could put a rope around them, then do it. But all this other, I'm beyond that, man. It's just hard to prosecute a doctor these days. All right. My thing also about all this white supremacy talk. Well, I don't know. It's rare that I hear Asian or Indians talk about white supremacy. It's very rare. And we know the Asians make the most money in America. We know that. They're at the highest when it comes to making money. But they don't talk about white supremacy. I wonder why. And no white person's supreme over me. I'll tell them in their face. All right. And as for people speaking about when I think it was Rico said about he should take them to civil courts and I agree with that. I agree with civil courts better than federal courts, because at least the family gets some money. Bankrupt their family, stuff like that. I agree with stuff like that. But this federal song and dance thing is a song and dance to me, and you all haven't yet to prove that it's not a song and dance to me. Civil court sounds better to me. Bankrupt their family, get all their money. You know what I'm saying? Then people will start thinking more about this thing. But I'm not really into the race thing, because I know they are. What I'm into is just like what Tiffany was saying, get your own. You understand? Be more police. If you want to be in the system, if you really want to change the system, but Tiffany's saying the system is just not for us, and I get it. But be more cops, be more lawyers, be more judges, so you can judge, so we can judge our own people. You understand? We can cop our own people. Things like that. I think one of the brothers was saying something. I know I'm rambling, but I'm gonna get off in a second. A lot of people on here talk about distrusting the system and white supremacy and things like that. But as soon as the government tell you to do something, you go do it. So it's kind of a hypocrisy to me.
Okay.
I'm not the one that does it. I pretty much stand on what I stand on, and that's how I go, all the way around. When it comes to doctors, lawyers, police, I'm pretty much the same way. I don't let the color of my skin change how I think, or the color of somebody else's skin change how I think.
Good deal.
I'm basing more things on how I see things in life, and how I've seen things, and I know how to pass them and get away with it, or how other people have passed them and get away with it, or other cultures pass them and get away with it. You know what I'm saying?
Let me go to Leonard and see. Do you have a response to what he just said to you, Leonard?
I mean, I didn't know that he was talking to me about needed one.
He said something that you said. He said Leonard said something. What did you say Leonard said, Charles?
I said Leonard was saying something about he halfway understand what I'm saying, because a party affiliate, and that party don't want anything white going to jail. But I'm telling you, the way I look at it is that it's more white doctors than black doctors, and I would rather we focus on stuff like how easy it's for a doctor to kill a black person and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's way more easy for a doctor to kill a black person than it is for a cop to kill a black person.
But the thing about it is that doesn't address what police do.
No, I'm not talking about that.
I understand what Charles is saying. However,
hold on, Charles. Let him finish.
I also do understand what it's like to be on the side, sitting in front of the people against the laws that you are trying to push them to pass. So when you sit and you listen to the arguments, I remember hearing this before. So when I'm sitting talking to a senator about a bill, I can't sit there and pretty much sit there and go and switch this and switch that over back and forth in conversation. I got to stick to what's in front of me. If I am sitting discussing police brutality, that's what I'm working on. Because if I'm helping an organization whose mission is to do A, that's what I do. Not B, C, D, E, F, and G. I just don't. Because one, how are you going to destroy your enemy if you don't even want to fight it? How are you going to destroy your enemy if you can't stay focused on your enemy? So one, it's not about how you feel personally. It's not about economics. Over here, we were talking about the hate crime and the importance and the issue related to that particular case involving the hate crime. Now, most people said, I don't have no problem with what people said about it or anything. I'm not sure why, I think I understand what Charles is talking about is why he thinks I would be against whatever he was saying or what have you. But I'm not. I'm just saying that one, if you're going to be constructive, you have to know what the objective is. It's to eradicate racism. I don't care if you believe it'll never happen or not. I really don't. I am going to be fighting against it until the day I die.
Good deal.
I've done everything. I've surrendered my citizenship before, all that. If I didn't want to be here, I wouldn't be here. Do you understand that? So one, if there is a better place, go there. I'll clear the path and the road for you to get there. I just may not go with you.
Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya, what's on your heart, sis? Toya?
Hey, Raheem, I'm on this call. I had a doctor's appointment, so I had to take care of that.
Okay, I'll come to you next. Toya, you there? Go ahead, Curtis.
And I understand you, Charles.
I boogie that showed up. They showed out.
Charles just left.
Listen, man. Listen. You cannot address the issues of America without addressing the issue of racism. You can't do it. And you can try and make it sound like, we wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have that. Is a crap of crap. Because everything is centered and placated around cause and effect. Rico, another one, took it out the park. Rico said something earlier. Yesterday, I believe it was, the day before yesterday. Rico said something about, he basically was saying that in order to address certain issues, you got to understand the cause and effect. It was the day that we was talking about leaving a kid home. So you can't address an issue in America without addressing the cause and effect. And I don't know why black folks try and address issues, and all we do is address the effect. And we don't even address that according to what the narrative really is. We address it according to what we were told the narrative is. The problem that we have for our racism is simple. Is nobody really wants to answer to the cause. And if you don't answer to the cause, guess what? You're never going to even address the effect, which means those very same people inside those everything. the whole idea is, if you never address the cause, then we don't have to be accountable for the effect. See, that's the easy methodology. It's easier than American Pie. So, when I hear people talk, and Charles is bright, he's a brilliant man. But when I hear people talk like Charles, I say, oh, they must be talking about another America. Because they're not talking about the America that we exist in. Tiffany said it best. It's time for us to buy our own. It's a spot right down there in Georgia right now. I think it's 180 acres of land, 2 churches, the whole 9 for sale, right on the Georgia-South Carolina state line. You got to address these things. And if you're not going to address them, then you know what? Build your own. Build your own. Build your own. If I guarantee you, I'm willing to bet my check.
3 minutes, Kurt.
All right, I'm just going to leave it there.
No. Finish your thought.
I'm willing to bet my check that if we decided to do that, the black and brown community are ending up and move together. If this country right here, if every minority in this country right now decided to, guess what? We not working. These dudes moving these trucks in front of my face right now, if they decide to get out them trucks and just go, now I'm going home. Look what happened to America.
Absolutely.
All the minorities decide to stop paying their bills.
Kurt, gotta move on, brother. Gotta keep it moving.
Go ahead. I ain't holding you up.
Cassandra, you there?
I'm here.
What's on your heart, sis?
I don't have it. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay. Hey, look here. With Cassandra at a loss for words, I'm gonna tell you that's something. Let's go ahead, Badger.
To experience not only the perspectives that are here, but also the perspectives among talking with white people. I took Leonard's advice, and I'm still attempting to actually fit in. I'm not doing a very good job. Because I don't get along with a lot of that mentality. I'm surrounded by people getting upset over word usage and accusations that, it's not just white on black crime, it's also white on white crime too. And they'll throw all these other things out there. Even after me sharing all of my experiences and what I've personally seen. And some others, when you actually get them to talk about it, they've seen it too. Yet, most people that I've been talking to in other groups are using a terminology of white power or folks in power, which I've pointed out is primarily white people that use this system of making laws and things like that to keep us separated in one way, shape, or form. If it's not something that's being done toward black people to interfere in how y'all can do things, it's low class people or it's somebody else. There's always something going on to keep us divided. And one of the people I talked to actually writes policies and things like that in our capital. And I actually got to listen to him and all kinds of things like that. And he also is trying to get a new governor in Texas, which is a Democrat, thank God, to actually, work on the healthcare system for all people in this state. So I just want to throw this example out there. The federal government updated their healthcare system for everyone in America. Can we all agree on that? I don't know if y'all kept up to date with all that.
Go ahead.
All right. Yet Texas went, I don't want to do it. So now we're at a state level. They denied updating their systems. and there was a couple other states that followed suit. It's a pyramid. I agree with Tiffany. I always have looked at it in that way. You've got to start at the state level and work your way all the way up. If you want to cause the biggest changes in our government, you've got to target the senators and the representatives. You've got to pay it, and it's something that I mention from time to time over and over again. If it's not racism going on, it's discrimination based on class, or it's discrimination based on disability. It's always attacking on something or someone.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me see. I want to go. We have Public Citizen on the line. Public Citizen, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Okay. Let's see. So, wow, very lot of deep conversation here. So, try to pick my words carefully. So, yeah, I guess I'll first of all, about the white supremacy thing. I have like 3 objections to using that term, and my main objections are there's a lot of white people walking around that feel they're superior. Okay, so I don't like to reinforce that idea, and oh my gosh, dog. All right, so whenever you say white supremacy, it's synonymous with the term white superiority. So that's my primary objection to that term. But look, I don't spend a lot of time worrying about people when Rico says that or whoever says that word. I use that word too. Okay, I have friends that we use that word when we discuss these issues because it's real. It is a real thing. It is a real problem that people think that they're superior. But I don't know what the solution is. I think there's tons of systemic inequalities in our society that need to be addressed, and the history of racism in this country is undeniable, right? And America needs to make up for that. Right now, we're going the wrong direction. You could look at for example, the polls about Black Lives Matter favorability. That's been going down over the last year. A lot of people are going to the conservatives. So, we need to make progress for people who are struggling, people who don't have their basic needs met. How do you get there? I'm not sure. But, so I don't know. That's kind of my take on it. There's a lot of problems, and, I think the people here in this call are know that, right? And you guys, and we all know that there's a problem there, and we all know we need to work on it. But there's a lot of people who are just grinding away day to day and aren't making any progress. So how do we get everybody on board? I guess that's my question.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Tiffany, you said you was gonna write something down. What's on your heart, sis?
So I wanted to go back to the Asian thing because somebody said that the Asians are like the richest people in the country and all that. And so I wanted to mention that because if you look at the people who vote most compared to who votes the least, white people, Black people, and Latinos vote the most. Asians vote the least. Asians and others vote the least. And they're the richest. So in California, I want to say it's San Francisco or someplace else, there's a Chinatown, right? And years ago, America found out that the land that Chinatown was sitting on was valuable. It has a lot of minerals or whatever as valuable land. So they tried to displace Chinatown to someplace else. But China said, you're not doing that. You come from my people, we coming for you. They got that backbone. If you go to any Chinatown, Asian town, wherever, all over the country, they have their own communities. They take care of their own things. They have their own laws. They have their own police. They do everything within their community. And they don't need, and they have the money. They have the resources. We don't have the resources. But not only do they have the resources to self-sustain, they have a country that's going to back them up. We don't have that. We so busy talking about you Jamaican, you African, you this, you that. You know what I'm saying? When Africans and stuff come into the country, they tell them at the gate, don't mess with them black people. Those American black people gonna get you in trouble. So they cause a divide. We don't have money. We want to go buy the bags. We want to go buy the rims. We want to go smoke the weed. We want to do all of these things that's keeping us from where we're supposed to get to. So we can say vote, 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 vote. The people with the most wealth in this country, they ain't doing jack. But taking care of each other, making sure everybody in their community is taken care of. And as far as land, I transport vehicles all over the country. There's deserted towns and there's land all over this place. But everybody want to live in Atlanta. Everybody want to live in South Carolina. Everybody want to live in New York. The land is here. The resources are here. We just have to, like-minded people just have to come together and do what we need to do. If we got to buy some land and put trailers on the land and live in the trailers while we building it up, that's what we have to do. But people don't want to get uncomfortable in order to be comfortable.
Wow. Good deal. Leonard?
Sir.
What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Like I say, at the end of the day, we will see what matters. I don't have no unction whatsoever to change my plans. Period. It's the difference between righteousness and wickedness to me. I can go about my way and do what I would like to do and mind my own business. And I'm just fine. I don't care who live next door to me. I don't care what language they speak, where they come from, or what they do. It's not about all these other things that you desire. That's not my issue. So when I hear people talk, I listen to it. That's their story. That's what they plan on doing. Okay, I'm not here to change your mind. But do understand what side I am on. So if you have aspirations and things of that, I'm not that guy. Go do it. You can always do that. Go do that. You should have been doing that. I have to address racism because it affects me. It has affected people who look like me, and it will affect people after me that look like me. That's what I fight against. I fight against injustice, not against white people. I fight against racism, not against white people. I have no hatred whatsoever for white people. So if you're a decent, well-meaning white person, you're good with me. We can kick it, have a great time. Hell, our daughters can marry and everything. But what you not gonna do is think you're gonna put your foot on my neck and I give up and not say nothing. What you not gonna do is make me think that I'm gonna run somewhere where ain't no white people at and this utopia exists. And no, I'm gonna stay right here. And my foot will continually be in your hind parts. Because that's what we're going to do over here. Now, what you do over there is your business. All your struggles and whatever y'all going through, fine. That's y'all. If y'all want to do that, fine. Go do it. Some people love struggle. Some people love waking up being the underdog. That's what they do. That's what they get off on. I don't. I just don't. I am very much into fighting against racism. That's the issue. Not my personal feelings or aspirations. Great book coming out by Santa. I was in a little watching an interview with her. Santa Butler talks to one of the last individuals whose parent, actually was a slave. He didn't feel like it. He didn't decide to be a slave on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. No, his dad was a slave. And the lessons that he taught his child is where we need to start.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's go to Charles then. Rico, you on standby, brother. Coming up next. Charles, what's on your heart?
I agree with that, man. Righteousness and wickedness is what we fight against. Not skin color. But I think a lot of people get mixed up and put skin color in it.
Yes.
Because they think that because a certain person did something to them, that all people are a certain way. But it's unfair if a certain person, if a black person did this to me, or a Chinese person did this to me, and I think that they're all a certain way. And when it's all about righteousness and wickedness, to be honest, you understand? I mean, when you take it to that level, that's just what it's about. You could close your eyes, you could be blind and never see a color in your life. It's about righteousness and wickedness. If you really look at it. But a lot of people, I'm telling you, a lot of us, we put the color in it. And then we make it think that it's all about color when it's not.
Good deal. Good deal.
You understand?
Yep, absolutely. Rico?
Thing is sometimes it's about color, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you can say, well, who knows? You know, that's why it's so hard to win discrimination suits sometimes, because you got to have it all out written in paper pretty much, or caught on video. Other than that, if you ain't got proof, it's denied.
True.
Nah, I didn't hire him because he was black. I denied him this job because he was less qualified. But then you get the text messages and the memes and the posts between friends, like with the Aubreys. Oh, we ain't racist. But then you go back and pull up the post and the text message, and they say nigger bucket. Change the name from Cracker Barrel. So the thing is even when somebody wants to say it's not racist, who's to say it isn't? So my thing is when you start going back about righteousness and wickedness, more or less prove that it isn't racist. If somebody is saying it's racist, instead of coming at the people that's always saying that it is about race. Because one thing about it, if I'm speaking on white people that do racist things, I'm speaking on white people that do racist things, that believes in white supremacy. I'm not speaking about the white people that don't. So when we say white people do this and that, we mean those white people. Just like when y'all say black people don't like to act right in public, they act like monkeys. Guess what? I seen some. The Aubrey, Travis McMichael, he made a post about calling us monkeys. I find that very offensive if he's using that towards all black people. But guess what? Sometimes I get around my own black people, and Lord have mercy, them jokers act like severe monkeys. So when they talking about them, they ain't talking about me. But at the same time, you might be trying to include me in that category. So I gotta check you just in case.
Especially when you got all the evidence, hundreds of years of evidence.
And you got the power and the control, and you've been getting away with it. Oh, I'm gonna check you just in case. You might have it in your backbone, and you might just be. You know what? I read a story. It's a guy, a state trooper right now in Alabama. He's trying to get the Confederate flag changed off the coat of arms. All these years that he was a state trooper, he had to have his Confederate flag on his shirt. And he spoke in front of the legislature. You know, they give you a little time limit, but they gave him a time limit at the end of the day. He's trying to get a bill passed to change it. And they asked him why he was so passionate in an interview later on. And he talked about how when he was young, he went to a majority white school after integration. And his brother had to actually fight. He went through the time where the state troopers had to come to get the black people out of school because the white folks was acting up. But he didn't have to fight it. He was sort of blind to the N word and everything, naive to it. Until one day on the school bus, this boy in the back of it decided he want to call him one right before he get out of school. This is the last day of school. He getting out for the summer. And then the boy hit him in the face with an orange. Whole bus laugh about it. So the bus driver hugs him, and he said when the bus driver hugged him, he said, "Hey, I'll see you next year." And he see the bus driver's crying. He didn't understand why the bus driver was crying. He tried to play it off and make it seem like it was a joke too. Next year he come back to school, the boy start back up. So it goes on for about 4 years. But after he asked his mother what it meant when he called the N word, she said, "Only ignorant people use that word." So that was his comeback. You just ignorant. He didn't have nothing spicy to shoot back at him. He just, "Oh, you just ignorant." That was his comeback. So the white boy, after getting tired of just manipulating and getting over on this boy, decided he wanted to come and give him a peace offering with a truce. He bought him a gift. So the boy was like, "Well, you know what, man? All white people ain't bad." He was just joking. He don't want to do it no more. He gave me a gift. We friends now. And he got the gift and he put it on and walked around that school. and he ran across a teacher that told him to take it off. And this teacher started getting tears in her eye because she realized he don't know no better. Then he put the hat back on and get home, and his mama go off on him, take that hat off. The slick, man, like to say some words there, but that slick joker, the gift that he gave him was a Budweiser hat with a rebel flag on it. Confederate flag. See, the boy didn't know no better.
Yeah.
So now when he's standing in front of the state legislature talking about the reason why the Confederate flag is good, they talking about, oh, it's about states' rights. He said, nah, it's about racism. My whole life, y'all been proving to me that this is about white supremacy. Even when you deceive me and tell me that you're giving me a gift and that this thing is over with, you're really doing it to ridicule me. And so he went from that point forward, still want to be in law enforcement. He's in front of these people trying to get this flag taken off the coat of arms of Alabama. As a state trooper, he had to represent. So it really shows you how deceitful it can be and how they can disguise it and deny it. And then all we got to do is just sit back and be like, well, okay, yeah, y'all telling the truth. It ain't about racism and slavery. It's about taxes. And you got some black people making that stupid argument.
Exactly. Let me go to Amir. I know this is a subject you might not be able to talk on, but I want to come to you. Is anything on your heart? Mary?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Curtis?
You know, I gotta say this, man. I'm gonna speak on the hypocrisy of America. Because, like my niece, I've been in that position that she in right now, and there's a few of us on this phone that's been in that position that she in right now, and yet we haven't discussed the hypocrisy in the position that she's right now. We in a country that's supposed to be the land of the free, the home of the brave, with a right, with a First Amendment right of free speech. But yet, even if she see injustice because of her livelihood, she can't say nothing about it. She can't have an opinion one way or the other. And to a degree, I applaud that her opinions have to be non-biased and non-partisan. But if her opinion is draped in truth, then truth should be non-biased and non-partisan. The only thing that's biased and partisan to me, the only thing that's biased and non-partisan to me is a lie. I don't know if anybody has thought about it, but these are the things that go through my mind when I'm having this conversation. I just got picked up in a play called Sunset Baby. I'm playing Kenyatta Shakur. Read that script. The things that come out in that script are the things that we talk about every day on not only a ground floor level, but even on a governmental or institutional level. The same is that when we understand truth and see truth, we are being made to choose. Either you're going to eat, or we're going to make it hard for you not to eat. Then we get down on ourselves when one of the brothers get this attitude that's like, look, if you ain't gonna let me make it, if you ain't gonna get it to me, then I'm gonna take it.
Wow. That's good. That's good.
I'm just saying, man, like Raheem, man, listen, man, I'm a sentimental dude. I mean, sometimes I have these conversations with myself directly from the perspective of I have 2 black sons. I have these conversations with myself because I know I got 3 nieces that's black. How much longer we gonna go along and get along, and we ain't even getting along?
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521 is the phone number. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Cassandra, what's on your heart, Cassandra? Tiffany, coming to you next.
I'm still like dumbfounded by some of the reactions, and we all have whatever it is that we believe. But believe me, I guess it takes for somebody, for their family member to die in a racist or white supremacist situation, for them to truly understand what it's like. And you can keep mentioning black on black crime. It's horrific. We all hate it. But it's something about when you know that someone has targeted a person for this. It's like the Morris Ford Bridge lynching that I've directed. This is the last unsolved mass lynching in U.S. history. It's been over 75 years. 5 people died, and no one ever held accountable. Should we just say, hey, it's okay, you know, it was so long ago, it don't matter, blah, 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 blah. I want the truth. I don't care how long it's been. I want the truth. And I want people to answer for what they did. A lot of the people from Morris Ford Bridge are dead now. There's a few of them that we know are still alive. But they need to be held accountable. Their names need to be out there, and they need to be accountable for what they have done. So we're still fighting for justice for them, right up to the Supreme Court last year. So when I'm talking, I'm not just talking, you know, oh, she's just all in her, just damn Skippy, I'm in my emotions. Because I deal with this on a daily basis. Yes, I'm very emotional about it. And that will never change because I care about my people and I want to see equality and justice in this country.
Exactly. Tiffany?
There are no right or wrong answers. And, you know, we all go through stuff. We all experience racism every day, whether we accept it or not. Anytime I have 3 sons, and anytime they walk out the door, they can get knocked off. Anytime I walk out the door, I can get knocked off. Anytime my daughters, I have 3 daughters. 2 graduated from college. One graduated from college. The other one's in college. I got 2 sons in college. I have a son that has his own business. I have a daughter that has her own business. They're not extinct. And just because you may not know somebody personally that has it, it affects us because we're Black. I don't look at people and say because it's her person or that person, but what is the reality that we live in? The same thing keeps happening over and over and over and over and over again. When you're in it, when you're in it, it matters. But guess what? When we're out there marching and stuff like that, and everybody's kumbaya and stuff like that, it only works until the cameras go off, and then we go back to business as usual. So therefore, it's not that you don't care, and it's like you to care less because it's not your people. That's not even what it's about. Of course, you're going to think about it more because it's your person. You grew up with this person. That's your whatever. But the fact of the matter is we got to love each other as a whole. If it hurts you, it hurts me. But what are we going to do about it? When the tears dry up and stuff like that, we move on to the next person. Those people in Valdosta, Kendrick Johnson, do you know they person was murdered, wrapped up in that thing. But when the cameras go off, ain't nobody talking to them people. Ain't nobody caring about them people. I have a radio show and I reached out to them so they can come on my show to talk and stuff like that. So just because people are in their feelings, you can't assume that nobody else cares or they don't care as much as you do. People don't have to wear their heart on their sleeve and let you know how you crying. Everybody in the Bible, it talks about how people do stuff in public, but what do you do behind closed doors? That's the part that matters. And I hate that we come on here and we want to negate this person's opinion or we want to negate that person's opinion when you don't know that person for one, you don't know how they're feeling, and you don't know what the hell they're doing behind closed doors. I don't have to be on here and crying and stuff like that and yelling and stuff like that to prove who I am, how I feel, and what I do. I love my people all the time, and I do stuff in public and I do stuff in private, and I don't give a I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. The only one I have to prove something to is my God, because God is the one that created me. God is the one that can take me, and God is the one that can judge me. And if we can't come out here, that's why I take breaks from the Morning Glow, because people always want to judge and make people think that they're less than somebody else, or their opinion is more than somebody else's, and you ain't nothing because you said it, and you ain't nothing because you said it. That's why I don't like coming out here, because there's supposed to be a platform full of people with all different beliefs and stuff like that, but at the same time, ain't nobody acting godly up in here if you don't agree with what the heck you guys say, what the heck you're saying. Where's Jesus in that? What would Jesus do? Jesus let hoes wash his feet. He wasn't judging them. It was the people around him. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Badger said he wanted. Okay. You don't think you said enough?
Badger, I'm glad I am not the only one that thinks that way.
Yeah. One at a time. So if you can get back to me in a minute, I'd like to say something.
I'll come to you next.
I'll go after Cassandra.
Cassandra, go ahead.
Okay, so I do this on air and off air. So for me, it's a 24/7, 365 for me. So this is not something I just do when I come on here, talk passionately. I'm at the state legislature's office. I'm at the state capitol. I'm marching. I'm meeting with family members like the Aubreys and George Floyd's family. So I'm not just talking it, I'm doing it. And yes, if I'm passionate about it, I'm passionate about it. And if I say something, I stand on what I say. If you don't like what I say, I can't help that. And I'm not judging anybody, because I do radio and I've done radio for years. I realize that people have their own opinions and perspectives. And I respect everybody. But if I have something to say about what you said, I'm going to say it. That's whether I'm in my feelings or not. I'm going to say it, because that's what this platform is. We say what we feel about a particular situation. And I don't judge anybody on what they say, because I don't care. But I'm going to come at you if you say something. And
rewind the tape. Rewind the tape.
Hold on, Tiffany.
Rewind the tape.
Hold on, Tiffany.
You do judge. You do tell people that they're wrong.
Tiffany,
hold on. Other people do.
Tiffany, hold on. Go ahead, Cassandra.
So it's not a judgment thing, because I work with people all the time, of all races, all backgrounds, and they express their opinion. And guess what? I don't care what they say. If I don't like what they said, I respond to it. So that's not a judgment. That means I don't agree with you, and just like you have a right not to agree with me, what you don't, and that's okay. We're individuals. I don't want everybody to go along with me. You need to have your own opinion. And that's what the beautiful thing is about being in America, I thought, about being on this radio show, I thought. You express your opinion and I express mine. But it has nothing to do with me judging anybody, because whatever your opinion is, it doesn't change my perspective.
Okay. Badger?
Public also wanted to speak, by the way.
Okay.
You know, and that's one of the things that, like, when I get on here, you know, y'all invite me on here all the time. Y'all want me here. Y'all want to hear my opinions and my views and things like that. Y'all adopted me, and y'all won't let me go nowhere. Which is awesome. I love being on this show. And I know a lot of times that, like, when I'm voicing things, I'm also sharing from a point of view of other people that's also sharing their points of views with me, because a lot of them won't come on this show. And a lot of it's because out of fear of being attacked. Because they have these views of, you know, they're tired of the N-word. They're tired of the white supremacy. They're tired of the racism, because it's everywhere. What they're more concerned about is, what are we going to do to work on it? Instead of just talking about it, let's make it happen. And a lot of us are working behind closed doors.
Yes.
For the better.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
the fact that you know, I was asked to reach out to some of my gaming community people, and almost every single one of them that has tuned into this show has pretty much made the same response. That there are a lot of people on this show that are stuck in the old mentality, and they don't want to be attacked if they come on this show for sharing their viewpoints, because a lot of them are younger. So they have a very different viewpoint of word usage and terminologies and things like that, because they are so surrounded by, you can't say this pronoun, you can't say that, you can't say this word. Everyone's attacking everyone consistently, on purpose or not on purpose. Like we just had a discussion on how using white supremacy, there are some people that think you're attacking all white people. And then on the flip side, when some people talk about black people about being monkeys, some people take it as they're talking about them too. Some of us will actually go out of the way and go, all right, what exactly do you mean by that? Are you saying I am too? Some people don't. Some people aren't as strong as some of us are, which is okay too, because they're also human beings. So a lot of times I hold back a lot. And I know you know this. That's why you don't always come to me, because sometimes I'm just quiet. And when I want to speak, I let you know, which works. Because a lot, I hold back in the instance because even there are times when I do my best to share things, I get taken out of context. And it gets so overwhelming and drives my anxiety really high that I have to fight within myself to continue being here sometimes, which, you know, for the show being what it is, shouldn't happen consistently. So
wow.
And that's why, like, I brought up language. You know, a lot of us are using these terms and words, and I even brought up just one simple point in our little private chat we had. I'm like, why can't we just get rid of the word racism and all this other stuff and just use the terminologies of righteous and wicked? What's wrong with that? What is wrong with all human beings in America using one phrase so there's one definition for people to understand, so there's no argument and we can focus on the actions that people are doing and stop it?
Good deal. Let me go to Public Citizen. You had something on your heart, brother? I see you, Charles.
Yeah. Okay. Couple things. Yeah, these conversations are really hard. So I've had conversations with some of my friends in the past, and I said a certain thing, and they took it the wrong way, you know, and they held a grudge against me, and it took a long time to heal those relationships. So I think everyone, if we're talking about these really heavy and deep conversations, you have to be charitable and give, you know, assume the other person is coming with good intention. That's like, you know, people are having any kind of discussion. That's like a really important concept. Don't assume that the person meant it in the worst possible way. Maybe they meant it in a way, you know. So that's one. White people are not superior. Okay, they are, you know, the highest number on food stamps, the highest number killed by cops, highest number in prison, highest number on drug abuse, highest number on food stamps. All these different metrics of dysfunction. So we need to get past this idea that white people are superior. And I know nobody on this call believes that, but, you know, there are some people that believe that. So about solutions, I think education is a big part. You know, I'm a teacher. It's Black History Month. This is a hard time because a lot of the Black History stuff brings up really difficult topics. And, you know, there's a lot of baggage when you talk about this. So I think part of the solution to racism is teaching people who don't have certain skill sets, you know, how to deal with their trauma. Like, you know, a lot of us, even I'm learning how to deal with my trauma. I have racial trauma too, as a mixed race person, you know, and I'm 51 years old, and I'm still learning how to, you know, get past this stuff. So yeah, I think education is a huge part of it. And even the conversation yesterday, when we're talking about nutrition and exercise, that's important. Those are really important conversations for people. You know, because if you're healthy, your body feels good, your mind feels good, you're going to do better in life. So, you know, we can't always focus on, you know, the trauma of the past. We have to look to the future also.
And public citizen, just for the record, I got my 300 in yesterday. Go ahead, Charles.
Nice.
Cut it out, Tiffany. Cut it out, Tiffany. I got my 300 in. Stop it right there, Tiffany. I see your smile. I know what that means. Stop it.
Your 300 what? Cookies.
Push-ups.
It's easy. It's easy, ain't it? It's easy, ain't it?
Yeah,
It's easy, man.
Yeah, I just did sets of 50. I just did sets of 50 all day till I got to. I think I sent you a message when I was at 200.
Video the next time. How about that?
Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Curls from your plate with the fork in your mouth, in your hand to your mouth.
Look at this. Look at this. See.
I'm done. I'm out.
What? Look. Where's the love, man? Y'all should be celebrating with me. See, that's the problem right there. Y'all not celebrating. Y'all should be celebrating with me.
What are you celebrating, Raheem?
I did my push-up. Y'all put a challenge out there.
How did you eat all the push-ups?
Man, listen. Look here. I'm so right now a little bit, but it's okay. I'm gonna do.
Oh, you talking about? Oh, I thought you meant the ice cream.
That's the same thing. I was thinking the same thing, man.
Look at what look. What the love at? What the love at? That's all I'm looking for.
If he did 300, if he did 300 of them push-ups, he gonna be doing a lot of sitting down too afterwards.
You didn't call me and tell me to come get no ice cream. That's why I'm upset. You had 300 of them.
Man, look at see what I'm saying? Where's the love, Badger? Where's the love, brother? Where my daughter at? Where Mary at? Mary.
Hey man, check it out.
Hold on. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah,
Mary. Yeah, Mary.
She gonna call you Sugarfoot again.
Yeah, she gonna call me Sugarfoot. Yeah, that make me feel good too. Yeah.
Stop it, Charles. Don't make me laugh, man. That just makes me laugh.
Hey, check it out, man. The question out. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Question to
yes.
I think Cassandra. Somebody said, "How would I feel if my loved one was killed a certain way by a racist person?" I would probably be more upset if my loved one was killed by a black person, because we're supposed to be on the same team. You know, if I would understand, not even try to understand if somebody else did it, but if we're against each other, like if I'm out on the battlefield and the enemy kills my friend, I'm still mad at the enemy. But if I'm out on the battlefield and we all on the same, and the dude next to me turn around and kill my friend, then I'm like, wait a minute, I thought we was on the same team. So I'd be more upset at that because I'd feel betrayed. You get what I'm saying? I would feel betrayed. Now, I agree with Badger. Badger asked the question, why can't we take away the word racism and replace it with wickedness? But I'm going to I agree that it should be done, but it will never be done because there's no control in the word wickedness. I can't click you. I can't make you. With word racism, I can control you. I can say something and it controls you. With wickedness, I can't do that. And one more thing, I think Public Citizen was saying something about Black History Month. And this is just me. I know I'm off subject a little bit. As a child, I remember Black History Week. I'm 53 years old. I remember Black History Week. And this is in elementary school. I used to wonder why we have Black History Week. Why is it our history in American history books? And it's told all year round. I think that Black History Week was a sellout move as a child. Just like as a child, I figured, this is an elementary school student, I figured that busing students to different places was a sellout. The buses cost money, the gas costs money, the bus drivers cost money. Why can't we put that money into the school that we busing the kids from?
Let me throw this out there for you, and I'm asking you this question for a reason, because I want my listeners to understand exactly where you're coming from. Do you think integration was good or bad as a whole?
Forced integration was bad. Forced. I didn't say it was bad. I said forced. Because people was going to integrate anyway. People usually follow money and good things. But once it's forced, then it's bad, because I can't make you love me. I can make you like me. I can hold up laws, but integration is like forced, if the playing field is level, meaning that if my school has good students, good teachers and everything, people are going to gravitate towards it, no matter what the color is. Now, if you allow them to gravitate towards it, I understand. But forced integration, I think some things might have been needed, but if we had the same things, then we wouldn't have needed it. You get it?
Okay. Yeah, good. We only got about 3 minutes, Charles. I want to put. I understand. I understand. I want to pull some more people into this thing. We got 3 minutes. Tucson, what's on your heart? What do you say to that? Tucson, you there?
I wasted 10 seconds.
I can't hear him.
Trying to find the mute.
He said he wasted 10 seconds trying to find the mute button. Go ahead.
I can't hear him.
With Charles, because I don't care what color you don't like to be forced to do anything. And then why put me in a place they don't want me? I'm not going. Because it's gonna be a fight. And guess who's gonna get behind fight? Not the ones that don't want me there. They've been doing that for years. They do good at keeping folks out. So we trying to be part of a system and whatever else you want to call it, but they don't want you. And we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you continue to get the same.
Exactly. We got it's at 59 right now. We're gonna for everybody that can, we're gonna go just a little bit over because we started a little late today, so we're gonna go a little bit over. So everybody that can stay, I definitely would appreciate it if you can. But if you have to go at 10 o'clock, I certainly understand that as well. Rico, what do you say about that? Was it integration? Was it good or bad?
Charles hit it on the head, but once again, I'm glad Curtis said that, man, because mainly when I come on here, man, I try to give reasons. Sometimes it might sound like we complaining and we don't never come up with solutions, but you can't come up with a solution if you don't even understand the reason why an element or an environment exists. So you have to discuss what started the problem, what started the issue. So, I made a post the other day, and it's a common post. If the shoe or the glove don't fit, don't try to wear it. But the thing is you have to put yourself in those people's shoes sometimes that were in the era of integration. Now, the people that embrace integration, they didn't live in a time during the Reconstruction. So they never had a chance to experience the greatness of Reconstruction. They were only able to witness what came after that, which was a whole bunch of more oppression and legislation that was made to make things harder on black people and made them have to fight again and march and come up with the civil rights movement. So once again, people wanted to integrate into a better lifestyle. Some people honestly understood how important it was not to integrate, or maybe to just integrate and grab the necessary things you need to do better, but don't just integrate into the entire thing, but we integrated into the entire American way of life. The American culture. We wanted the American dream. And so it's been hard for us to get out of that American dream. And so now here we are able to sit back and analyze, was integration a bad thing? Well, yes, it was. But see, they didn't understand because integration was better than what they had. They didn't have Reconstruction. So now why did they have Reconstruction? Because somebody came in and made laws and legislation to counter Reconstruction and disable it to a point to where it didn't exist. They made moves to where they took out curriculum in school that said that the Confederacy was negative, and that Jefferson Davis and Robert E. Lee were anti-patriots. They were traitors. They took that out and made the Confederacy look like something that should be glorified. The antebellum, the Southern hospitality, the sweet old good old South. And that's the way of life that people adjusted to, and they adapted out of having control and out of having power to dictate what we see is better than what we have, especially when they control the fact that we can't have certain things. Now, you can't drink this water. You can't drink. You can't have this food at this restaurant. You can't even come down this road. So we have to put ourselves in other people's shoes and wonder what was the situation like when they made the decisions that they made, because they didn't know then that it was really a mistake to indulge into this behavior, this American dream that you wanted so much. You get what I'm saying? There were things that came before you. A lot of the people that went into integration didn't know about a Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
Black Wall Street just got popular in the last 20 years. Juneteenth just got popular in the last 25 years.
Good
a lot
deal.
of people didn't know all this stuff happened. So there's a reason why hate crime laws exist. There's a necessary reason for it. There's a reason why we just can't use the term wickedness. We just can't use the term wickedness for stealing a piece of candy and raping somebody. Rape and then targeting a person because they are Black is two totally different things. Raping somebody because they're Black is on a whole nother level. This person might not rape white people. So, I mean, you know, we just can't get rid of the terms because there are certain reasons that people do what they do that made those terms exist.
Okay. Let me keep this thing going. Like I said, we got a few more minutes. We're going to get out of here. So everybody give me a quick version of what you're going to say so we can close the lights down and get on out of here. Willa, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem. I just real quick want to say I was a part of that integration you were talking about. And I was bused from a Black school to a white school. So I was part of that beginning. You asked the question, was that a good thing? And yes, for me, it was a good thing. Because the only thing I really knew about white people was what I saw on TV. My neighborhood was totally Black. So I learned a lot. I learned a whole lot. You know, we got to be taught better. Because in our schools, we wasn't learning what they were teaching in our schools when we were transferred to the white people's school. We were given a better education. Things were better. So yes, on the smaller version, you know, with the time, that's what I'm going to say. But yes, it was awesome. It was an awesome time for me. I got white friends. I'm not prejudiced. Prejudice is just a hated thing that's taught by people. That's what I want to say right here.
Good
Thank you so much for a wonderful show.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, sis. To God be the glory. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Hey, man, it was a good show today. People, I think, are learning a lesson. I'm glad Badger and Public Citizen came in. I will audit your show, Public Citizen, as soon as I can. It was interesting to hear Badger's show. This is why I support Badger in doing what he's doing, because he's like-minded. He's about righteousness. So this is why I can support him. This is why I can support transgenders who are targeted by the police as prostitutes. This is why I can just about support anybody about righteousness, because it's not about me. It's not about
good.
me.
Absolutely.
It's not about
Absolutely.
me and my personal belief, other than the fact that what these other people are doing is wicked.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's go to
on that.
Absolutely. Tiffany? Just a smile. You about to talk over there. Oh, there's smile. You know how radio work? You smiling, killing all the doggone airtime.
So I just want to say this about the system. They cause the problem and then they want to give us the solution. You know, they call us drug addicts, but in slavery, they gave the men cocaine so they will work harder and longer in the fields. And then they want to call us crack babies and stuff like that. And now your president giving us crack pipes. You know what I'm saying? They cause the problems and then they want to give us the solution. Look at cancer and all that other stuff. This carcinogens in deodorant. You know what I'm saying? Everything is done by design. They want to be the cause and the effect. They want to be the problem and the solution at the same time. And all I'm saying is we have to recognize that and remove ourselves and go back to the basics. Like I said the other day, we trying to evolve with a system that is king, queen wickedness. And they killing us from all angles. It's not just one particular thing. They're getting us everywhere. We got to go back to the basics. And as far as integration, we didn't understand. It's the ignorance. You know, we had to have everything during segregation, and we were willing to give it all up so we can be next to the enemy. I won't even eat with a black person that I don't like, because I don't like that negative energy around me. So why would I break my neck to go be somebody's neighbor who I know wants to shoot me in the back? And like Charles said, if somebody Caucasian or somebody other kills me, I expect that from them. They hate me. They hate me. And let's not forget, in the police department, there's racism. If it is no blue matters. Because in there, if you're black, Latino, or whatever, if you go against those white ones, they coming after you. And that's why they don't do anything a lot of times. Black police going after the white cop. You know what I'm saying?
Now, Tiffany, you know we say we got to get out of here. Now you're gonna talk.
Okay.
Look, you're gonna talk. Tiffany, boy,
I apologize. But
look, you about to pour the whole. You about to pour the whole bucket out on them. Don't pour the whole bucket.
I apologize. I love you guys, all of you guys, and great show.
Absolutely, good deal. Appreciate you, Cassandra.
Yes, I'm here. Thanks to everybody for their perspectives, for their comments, as usual. Everybody, well, the people on here that know me know that I'm very passionate about everything that I do. I'm not against anybody, especially not anybody on this show, period. And I spend my life trying to be a blessing to people, not hurting people. And don't ever question my Christianity, because we don't have a problem. Just because I don't respond the way you think Christians are supposed to respond, that does not make me who I am. I love people. That's why I spend my life helping people. And I'll do it for anybody, any race, it doesn't matter. Any gender, it doesn't matter. I'm for helping people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Badger?
Man. You know, just what everyone's saying, you know, it one thing I find interesting is with all the research that I do, and I'm listening to what everyone's saying, we all have a common goal. And
Absolutely.
that's to get rid of the evil and wicked. Or at least do our best to get it more balanced than what it is today.
Absolutely.
Yet, once again, folks want to speak a certain way, and there's no compromise. So,
Badger, it sound like this gonna be long, brother.
No,
it sound like this gonna be long, brother. I'm just saying it sound like this gonna be kind of long, brother.
I'll do that on my own show.
Okay, it sound like this gonna be kind of long, brother.
So, in a nutshell, you know, with the conversation I had last night with folks and my wife and, you know, other people, there's always room to get along. How much pride are you going to let get in the way of compromising to go after the same goal? How much ego are you going to hold on to? And my definition for ego is easing God out.
Absolutely. Okay, good deal. Curtis?
You know, Rodney, I'm going to say this.
Because speaking to your phone, you're a little bit low, brother. You're a little bit low.
Rodney, I'm going to say this. First off, we just experienced something that the devil has been doing for years, which is trying to control the narrative. Okay, because we've heard the word forced integration, and what it automatically made us think about is what was being taken and or what we was being made to do. It's really nothing but a play on words, brother. Because it allows for us not to think about the actual reason why it was even, that integration was even a policy. and why it was an initiative. The idea of integration was an initiative solely because we wanted equality. It had nothing to do with us being able to sit in a restaurant or use the same water fountain. It was a part of a bigger picture, which is the black folk wanted equality for all, wanted this country to live up to what it says on paper. The fact that we look past what it was about, use the verb force. See, that's how they control the narrative. And I'll end with this, brother. It hurt my feelings. Because, see, I have a dog in that fight. If you don't believe me, look it up on Google. The Greensboro setting, that's my cousin. That's my cousin was one of them, Raheem.
Over there, over there, Woodworth. Over there, Woodworth. Yeah, I'm from.
Woodworth. That's
yeah,
my cousin, man.
I'm from Greensboro. I know the story, brother.
Guess what happened to him after that, Raheem? He still believed in the American system. He became one of the first black generals in the United States military.
Yeah.
He's in the class of elite. So I just say this. Listeners, be careful when you hear people word play.
Good deal. Good deal.
So lean on verbs. Just to make you think a particular or feel a particular type of way.
Curtis, you know we gotta go, brother.
But anyway, I'm done, bro. I ain't took up a lot of time. I just said what was on my mind, bro.
What Curtis, that took 10 minutes. That took 10 minutes though, brother. I'm just saying that took 10 minutes.
Are you saying that because you got to go do some more push-ups for the honey buns?
Yeah, look, you beat me to it, Tiffany. We got to realize Raheem is at home. He ain't got nothing on but that shirt right now. He ready to go back and get back under them covers, man. He was late this morning.
Lord,
the push-up wore him out. He let you know he did them push-ups, but he ready to get on up out of here, man, because he need to lay down for a little bit longer.
Y'all know what I'm gonna do today? Y'all know what I'm gonna do today? I'm not gonna do push-ups today, but I'm gonna do 500 sit-ups today. 500.
That's some push-ups got him tired like that.
I'm gonna do before the day is over. I'm gonna do 500 sit-ups. And Charles, you go find some ice cream with sit-ups on it. You found a little push-up. You know, you find some ice cream with some sit-ups on it. Yeah, I saw you. Yeah, I saw you, little funny fella. Hey, Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
Not too much. I just watch us year after year. We're fighting the fight. We're fighting the same fight, and what helps the adversary or the one that we're fighting against is we start fighting each other. It's not going to be behind. That's all.
Absolutely. Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir? Hold on, Rico. Before you do that, Mary's still here. Mary, are you there? Mary, wake up and go to sleep. Wake up and go to sleep.
Yeah, Sugarfoot.
Yeah, cut it out. Go ahead, Rico. Mary must be away from the phone.
Man, I want to say this before we get started, man. Miriam, Cassandra, Latoya, Tiffany, Annie, man, this group of women that we got on here coming on here, man. I love it, man. They got that spunk, man.
Yes, sir.
I rarely use that word, but they got that fire, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, we debate sometimes. We do debate, you know, and we get distracted, but we end up coming back to the same point that we on the same boat together.
Yeah.
With that being said, if you missed today's broadcast and would like to see it or hear it in its entirety, you can tune in to www.dklmediagroup.com at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Absolutely. Miss Willa.
Yes, sir.
Miss Willa, your phone is a little bit low. You talking directly into your phone?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you a little better now. Can I get you to pray us out?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Father God in heaven, Lord, we thank you for this day, Lord. We thank you for Raheem, Lord. Father, we thank you for the success of this radio station every day, oh Lord. Touch the heart of your people, Lord. Soften their hearts. Open up their mind of sound doctrine. Let us bring ourselves together, come together and understand it, knowledge and wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen.
It sounds like you was ready for that one, sister. Sound like you was ready for that one now.
I was. Amen. I'm ready to do God's work.
Come on. There you go. Hey, Cassandra, was she ready?
She was ready. Miss Willa, do you mind if can I get your information? I would love to talk to you about a documentary I'm working on.
Yes, ma'am, you sure can.
Okay. I'll get it from Raheem.
Yeah, Raheem, you got it, right?
I do have it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I should. I'll make sure she have it before the day, before actually before the hour's out. I'll make sure she got it. Tiffany Real looking over to the left, like what's really going on, Tiffany? Oh, she talking to somebody. Tiffany Real. Oh, she might be on the phone. Rico, talk to me, brother, before we get out of here. What's on your heart, man? Talk to me.
Man, like I said, man, she done came on, man, and bought some more fire, Cassandra. The woman that just prayed, Monique, man. I mean, look, man, I got introduced to this program, you know what I'm saying, in a weird way. And it's crazy how things work out. You know,
yes,
sometimes the devil will bring people together and have intention to sabotage things, but actually, he actually creating people, with groups in unity.
Absolutely.
It's just huge, man, but like I said, man, communication, understanding, listening and cooperating is so huge, man. I mean, once we actually just sit down and listen to each other, man, and we understand the reason why we are fractured, the reason why we're still having these same conversations, the reason why we even have to have hate crimes 50 years after the 16th Street church bombing. Why? And you ask, and when you start looking for those questions and those answers, and everything normally falls into place when you're really trying to find a solution.
Exactly. And I want y'all to remind me, and Rico texted to me or something like this, so I have it in the morning. Tomorrow, we actually got a guest supposed to be in with us tomorrow as well, but I think what we're going to talk about tomorrow is the walking wounded. The walking wounded. There's a lot of us that's walking around that's absolutely wounded, some knowingly and some unknowingly. Cassandra, what do you say?
Psychotherapist. I hope there's a psychotherapist.
Yeah. Cassandra, what do you say to that with the walking wounded?
Absolutely, because I'm one of them. I'm one of them. So I'm working through my process, but it takes time, especially when it's been a death and some of the trauma that some of us have been through. It's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process.
Exactly. All right, Cassandra, I'm looking for you to be our counselor tomorrow. So early you can come on to Bella, because they don't tell them what's gonna happen tomorrow. We're talking about the walking wounded.
Okay.
All right. I want to thank everybody. It is now 10:20. It is 10:20. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow to be a part of your morning. It is now 10:21. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light in you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please be blessed.